The new age is dawning, at least at Netflix anyway. Yep, it seems like you may be able to get a clear view of how your favorite shows are actually performing, akin to box office numbers or Billboard charts. Welcome to the future of streaming data transparency. All secrets are revealed, and the data, well, the numbers will expose the winners and the losers. So buckle up, here we go. Today we're going back to the future. Well, kinda anyway. Remember when you could actually look up the ratings for all the network shows, the regular TV shows, cable shows? Remember when you had all that? You could clearly see the winners and the losers and what was likely to get canceled. Well, now imagine a time, very soon, where it's possible to do that again. You will see your favorite series, films, you'll be able to see how they're performing in the real world, in streaming, which is where a lot of that stuff already is. So it'll be just like the box office, checking out the revenues for films, or check out which of the songs is on the top of the Billboard charts, if anybody still does that. See, Netflix's CEO, Ted Sarandos, at the latest earnings call, promises that there is a day coming on the horizon that'll all be possible, at least from them. I suspect other streaming services just soiled their shorts. But let's step back for a moment. We're going to look at the big picture. You see, streaming, even with its profound impact on our entertainment habits, intentionally left out any of the regular forms of transparent data. Streaming platforms like Netflix are included in this. They kept their viewership data locked away. For services like Disney Minus, this was done for a very good reason. Investors. Disney and others are terrified of what the investors will think. Why? Because they have been misusing investor money on political, ideological gobbledygook that actually undermines their core businesses. They're not even attempting to serve investors' fiduciary interests, and that's a bad thing. Netflix, of course, is something different. It's not like a traditional studio in any sense. It is actually a format that very few could understand until Netflix was the biggest and the best at it, and then they all came around. See, the reason things weren't public, according to Sarandos, wasn't out of secrecy. He's explained that it was the early streaming days, and they were marked by a lot of apples and oranges comparisons that would be made between traditional TV ratings and streaming viewership. Netflix didn't advertise with commercials at that time, and traditional television ratings were designed around those commercial interruptions, making those metrics more important for TV than they would be for streaming. They were just completely mismatched. And you know what? In that regard, he's right. But since there was nothing to compare to, you could have compared things to yourself, at least let us in on that, and that would have been useful. I wonder, would the numbers reveal that the woke shows performed so poorly that it was clear internally that they needed to step away from that? Without access to those numbers, I would say probably it was likely pretty embarrassing. Grant, what do you think?
It's super embarrassing.
Moving on. A pivotal point in this journey, of course, was Netflix's promise to its creators back when Netflix ventured into original content creation. Creators felt confined by traditional manners of production, overnight ratings, weekend box office numbers, all of that, as the measures or only measures of their success. They believed these metrics defined their triumphs and failures. And yet, as time moved forward, a realization dawned that viewership success could transcend the initial benchmarks. A show could skyrocket in popularity over time, far beyond what its opening debut results indicated. Or at least that's what they're trying to portray. Funnily enough, the 1 out of 10,000 shows that does this is exemplified by Suits right now, and that's not an original program. They have very few originals that do that. There's not a lot of Stranger Things out there. Now, the shift wasn't solely about business objectives, according to Sarandos. It was about nurturing some early relationships with talent that they wouldn't normally have access to. And the people that bring stories to life were happy to go there for some more stress-free creation. You see, a lot of talent recently has spilt the tea when it comes to working with Netflix, when it comes to some bad faith on their part. In fact, some of the super woke shows that collapsed, they get dismantled pretty darn quickly. Look at what happened with Altered Carbon in its second season of Intersectional Delusion, or even Sense8, which pushed far too hard on the political messaging and alienated what was a more tolerant audience at the time. All right, back to it. Now, of course, Netflix then took the lead by introducing top 10 lists and other volunteered viewership data. That data, of course, being fairly worthless other than for comparison's sake to other programming on their service, but it was something. Reluctantly, I'll admit that these lists did mark a transition towards some kind of data transparency, a route that actually Sarandos believes will only grow, and he intends to expand upon it. Streaming is no longer something that's exotic, singular, monolithic. There's no stark disparity like apples and oranges as comparisons anymore. In simpler terms, streaming is mainstream now. It's an integral part of the media landscape, and the engagement metrics are increasingly well defined, and they give some kind of value. Of course, not the false data garbage that you're going to get from Parrot Analytics. That's just a marketing drivel that can be bought and paid for. We've seen that a lot recently. And I still can't believe C-suite executives fell for that particular trash. Hey, Grant, did you fall for that Parrot Analytics thing?
No, I did.
Data transparency, like television ratings, music charts, and box office numbers, are going to have to become commonplace. They have to. A clamoring from investors alone will force it to happen soon enough, especially after Netflix starts dropping things of real value, like full playthrough and retention numbers on an episode-by-episode basis. That will be the absolute game changer and put them firmly in first place. And this, of course, can mark a real turnaround in Netflix's journey from data guardian to data sharing advocate, and again, differentiate them from the also rans. It's going to embarrass the other streamers who are afraid to give data transparency, specifically to their investors and the general public, because they know how poorly they're performing. Yet it also has some questions that we have to ask, and this is where you come in, dear viewer. Do you think that transparent streaming data will change how you decide what you want to watch? How might that data transparency impact the future of creative content in this new world of streaming? And what shows or movies would you be most interested in seeing the streaming data in particular for? I know what I'd like to see. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below, and please take the time to verify that you're still subscribed to the channel so you don't miss a video, a live stream, a short, or even a poll that I'll put in the community tab. Also, the like button is absolutely free, and it really does help put videos like this in front of more and more people. If you share it out, that's even better, and I genuinely thank you for your efforts. We're trying to get to 15K by the end of the year, and I don't want to fall short. I want to make that. As always, be sure to take care of yourself and take care of others. And until next time, see ya!